Let LeBron James get away with this one. Not this one. This was classic snaky, fakey LeBron James.
I would probably be targeting the Memphis Grizzlies as a trade partner for Jaren Jackson.
Yeah.
Made deals. You've influenced deals being made. You've been accused of influencing deals that have been made. And we all know you're attached at the hip to LeBron James. So when you say something about something that directly impacts LeBron James, that is going to be the assumption, whether fair or unfair. And Rich Paul is entirely too smart not to know that.
If LeBron wants to be the third wheel, that's fine. But LeBron is saying maximize my chance of winning a championship right here, right now, when in fact he's the odd man out because the Lakers have made it clear they don't want him back.
The NBA landscape has been thrown into chaos, and it wasn't because of a last-second game winner or a jaw-dropping highlight play. Instead, the controversy centers around something much bigger, something that many believe was carefully orchestrated and has LeBron James' fingerprints all over it. Rich Paul, LeBron's longtime agent, close business associate, and arguably one of his most trusted allies, recently appeared on his podcast and floated the idea that the Lakers should consider trading Austin Reaves in exchange for Jaren Jackson Jr. When LeBron was later questioned about the remarks, he quickly distanced himself from the situations. He acted as though he had no involvement, no influence, and no connection to the suggestion whatsoever. But Skip Bayless isn't convinced. Not even a little bit. And if you look closely at the circumstances, there are plenty of reasons to be skeptical as well.
Is now trying to run the Lakers and run Austin Reaves out of town and out of his way so he can get more touches, more shine, more minutes alongside Luka.
Let's take a closer look at what's unfolding in Los Angeles, because this goes far beyond ordinary NBA drama. What we're seeing may be a calculated display of behind-the-scenes influence from the player many call the king. So how did all of this start? Rich Paul appeared on his newly launched podcast, a platform that many believe wouldn't even exist without LeBron's backing, and made a headline-grabbing statement. During the discussion, Paul suggested that the Lakers should pursue Grizzlies star Jaren Jackson Jr. But acquiring a player of that caliber wouldn't come cheap. According to Paul, the most realistic centerpiece in such a deal would be Austin Reaves. And just like that, the debate exploded across the basketball world.
I would probably be targeting the Memphis Grizzlies as a trade partner for Jaren Jackson.
Yeah. That'd be a great fit.
I would.
For whom?
Well, that's the thing. Because you got to figure out the package. This comes with
Austin Reaves.
This comes with a very unemotional attachment because Austin is beloved, which he should be.
But he's about to get paid.
He's an underdog. If you put all the money into just the backcourt, and then you're kind of like your flexibility is restricted going forward to fill out the rest of the team, then that's kind of like riding when you just have the training wheels on your bike, but the one training wheel is off and it kind of leans. That's kind of like that.
Rich Paul is essentially telling Lakers fans to set their emotions aside when it comes to Austin Reaves, a player who has delivered in clutch moments, helped keep the team afloat when LeBron and Anthony Davis were sidelined, and has fully embraced the Lakers culture. Put emotions aside. When we're talking about AR-15, seriously? But that's not even the most interesting part of the story. When LeBron was questioned about Rich Paul's remarks, he immediately distanced himself from the situation. His response was basically, "That's Rich's opinion, not mine." He portrayed Paul as someone acting independently, making his own comments without any involvement from him. That's the explanation LeBron wants everyone to believe.
Y'all know by now, Rich is his own man, and what Rich says is not a direct reflection of me and how I feel. And I hope people know that. I hope people know that. And if they're not sensible to know that, then I don't know what to tell them.
No conversations at all? Rich Paul is completely independent. Come on. If you're willing to believe that story, then I've got some beachfront property to sell you in the middle of the desert. The idea that LeBron had absolutely no knowledge of these comments is a claim many critics simply aren't buying. And that's where Skip Bayless stepped in. The longtime analyst wasted no time calling out what he viewed as an unbelievable explanation. True to form, Skip didn't soften his stance or hold back his criticism. He went straight at the narrative and made it clear that he wasn't convinced for a second.
Let LeBron James get away with this one. Not this one. It was classic, snaky, fakey LeBron James. And this all started when his longtime agent and business partner, Rich Paul, on his new podcast suddenly said the Lakers should trade Austin Reaves for Jaren Jackson Jr. What? Obviously, LeBron knew he was going to get asked about it. And when he was asked about it, he said, don't look at me. Rich is his own man. He speaks only for himself. His opinions are his. Mine are mine.
Skip Bayless had a nickname ready for the situation, using it to mock what he sees as LeBron's tendency to avoid accountability. According to Skip, the entire sequence of events fit a pattern he believes he's witnessed for years. And that brings us to Rich Paul. Before becoming one of the most influential figures in basketball representation, Paul had a very different path into the sports world. Today, he leads Clutch Sports, an agency that has grown into a major force across the NBA, representing a large number of players and negotiating contracts worth billions of dollars combined. The question critics keep asking is simple: does anyone really believe that rise happened without LeBron's support and influence? Many argue that LeBron's star power, relationships throughout the league, and ability to attract talent played a significant role in helping Clutch Sports become the powerhouse it is today. Those skeptics believe the agency's growth cannot be separated from LeBron's presence and reach within the basketball world. Jason Whitlock touched on that very topic during his show, and as expected, he didn't tiptoe around the subject or soften his opinion. He addressed it directly and made his stance crystal clear.
Rich Paul has gotten delusional. As LeBron James's career is coming to an end and LeBron James has clearly lost power and leverage in the NBA and with the Lakers, Rich Paul actually thinks his agency and his brand and his relationship with Adele and all that, Rich Paul is feeling himself.
According to critics, Rich Paul has reached a level of influence where he appears increasingly comfortable speaking on major basketball matters. With a high-profile public presence, a growing media platform, and significant influence throughout the league, some believe he's become one of the NBA's most powerful voices. But the real debate isn't about Rich Paul acting independently. Those who are skeptical of the situation argue that this wasn't a random comment made without broader implications. They believe the remarks reflected a larger agenda rather than a spontaneous opinion. In their view, Rich Paul wasn't operating alone. Instead, they see him as expressing ideas that align closely with LeBron's interests and priorities. The criticism goes even further. Some analysts claim that LeBron has long preferred to influence situations indirectly, allowing others to deliver controversial messages, while he maintains distance from the fallout. At the same time, LeBron continues to project the image of a supportive teammate, respected leader, and franchise cornerstone. Critics argue that there is often a gap between that public image and what they believe happens behind the scenes. Skip Bayless echoed that perspective, laying out his case for why he believes this latest controversy follows a familiar pattern.
If somebody close to you speaks publicly, if it's your mother or your wife or your agent, if they speak for you publicly, they are speaking from you publicly. That's the golden rule. From you publicly. This came from LeBron. I don't care what he...
For many observers, the situation comes down to a simple principle. When a high-profile agent makes a public statement, people naturally wonder whether it reflects the thinking of the client as well. Critics argue that both LeBron and Rich Paul understand how those perceptions work. That's why some found it difficult to accept LeBron's effort to distance himself from the comments. When he suggested the remarks were solely Rich Paul's opinion, skeptics immediately questioned whether that explanation was believable. They point to LeBron's long history of influence within organizations as part of their argument. Over the years, he has frequently been viewed as a player whose voice carries enormous weight when it comes to roster construction and franchise direction. Because of that reputation, critics struggled to believe he would be completely disconnected from a trade discussion involving one of the team's most important players. What makes the debate even more intense is the player at the center of it all, Austin Reaves. Reaves has become a fan favorite through hard work, persistence, and consistent production. After entering the league without being drafted, he earned his place through determination and gradually developed into a key contributor for the Lakers. Time and again, he has delivered in important moments, providing scoring, playmaking, and energy when the team needed it most. His growth from overlooked prospect to reliable starter has made him one of the organization's most respected young players. Supporters point to the stretches when injuries sidelined key stars and Reaves stepped up to help keep the team competitive. They view him as a player who embodies effort, toughness, and basketball intelligence every night he takes the floor. Because of that, the idea of moving him in a trade has generated strong reactions from fans and analysts alike. Some critics take the argument even further, claiming that LeBron is uncomfortable sharing the spotlight as the Lakers transition into a new era led by younger stars. They argue that Anthony Davis has become the franchise's most impactful player and that Reaves' continued emergence only strengthens that shift. Those critics believe LeBron struggles with the reality that the team is no longer built entirely around him. Whether that claim is fair or not remains a matter of debate, but it has become a major talking point among those questioning his role in the controversy. Skip Bayless focused heavily on that very issue, using it as a central part of his criticism and his broader argument about LeBron's influence within the organization.
The man born without a clutch gene is pushing for the big man that right now doesn't have a clutch gene because he has been horrible in the clutch for a not very good team in Memphis, obviously.
Now think about what critics see as the irony in all of this. They argue that LeBron is reportedly backing the idea of trading one of the Lakers' most dependable clutch performers for another star, raising questions about whether this move is really about winning or about maintaining influence within the team. According to that viewpoint, Rich Paul's comments weren't accidental. They believe the trade discussion was pushed into the public spotlight to create pressure on the Lakers front office and shape the conversation around Austin Reaves' future. But many Lakers fans aren't buying it. They point out that Reaves earned everything through hard work, developing from an undrafted player into one of the team's most trusted and popular contributors. To them, he's someone worth building around, not trading away. The debate has also shifted toward the Lakers' long-term future. Many believe the franchise is gradually moving toward a core built around Anthony Davis and its younger talent, making every roster decision even more significant. Critics argue that LeBron is still trying to influence the team's direction, while supporters believe any superstar would want moves that improve the chances of winning another championship. Either way, this has become much bigger than a simple trade rumor. It's now a conversation about leadership, influence, and who should shape the next era of Lakers basketball. Skip Bayless has been among the strongest voices criticizing the situation, while many fans continue to view Austin Reaves and Anthony Davis as the foundation of the franchise moving forward.